Hello, and welcome to another session of Gotham by Night. Tonight, we take a break from our typical shenanigans, as they call it nowadays. A very interesting event happened, which caused one of the characters to sue the city, as it were. This lawsuit was successful, but as we all know, the theme of the world of darkness is for every choice, there's a consequence. No matter how justified the actions, no matter how much the means have justified the ends, or vice versa, there's always consequences to everything we do. Our story now takes us to the office of Mr. Frank Shadow, who has just finished up one of the most impressive cases that he has ever done. Our scene now takes us to his office.
One of the most impressive cases he's undertaken in this guise. So yes, it's a usual evening. He's just preparing some papers, sitting down, drinking some water. He's quite pleased with himself, or at least he looks to be pleased with himself. Meanwhile, he himself feels quite numb, as usual.
For a while, it's surprisingly quiet in the lawyer's area of this place
Yeah.
until eventually you see one of the helpers come in and he hands you the details of what exactly you got. So, what was really successful about the case that you did wasn't so much the fact that you got a massive amount of money from the lawsuit, but the fact that you got compensation done for far more than just the parties involved. You were able to actually convince the city and prove that due to the ineffectiveness of what had happened, all damages should not only be compensated, but people should receive insurance and liability issues for the future, considering how this has been a periodic problem in Gotham City. And because the city didn't really have anything to do with it, and because there was a surprisingly small resistance to this particular lawsuit, there was it was surprisingly easy. What you managed to do was you got the city to not only fund the damages of the destruction to the club, but you also received a small compensation to Tatiana and a few others, including yourself. The extra that you were able to do was is that you also got the city to help clean up that neighborhood a little bit in terms of donations. And got of course you got a big fat check, which is always nice.
Indeed. And Mr. Shadow is always he's quite a happy gentleman, or at least looks to be. Yes.
The deception of the demon.
Indeed.
A difficult thing in a city such as this, as such advanced as this.
But in the fact that this city is so advanced, he can merely get to anywhere within the city with but a thought, because of his ability to simply transfer himself into data.
A very handy technique for this day and age.
Indeed.
After a while, you notice things become a little bit quiet.
Like unusually quiet? Or.
Yeah, like as in all you can hear is the rain on the outside of the windows, and that's it. Although it's gone a little bit less from rain to now flush, and you notice that from a time span of when you're filing out your paperwork and reading your results and getting your check, in a matter of half an hour, it goes from raining to snowing.
I stand up, look out the window.
For all of Gotham City's ugliness, and for all of its horrors, it's quite beautiful in the snow. Gotham City has very cold winters, sometimes even colder summers. When you see the land of cities and towering in the cyberpunk esque area covered in white, although snow tends to melt due to the massive amount of heat displaced by the digital and neon signs, it's a beautiful sight. A lot of steam tends to rise up from the primary city, covers the land, and makes a very almost beacon like piece of light in the darkness. Darkness that surrounds all of Gotham City. If one looked at Gotham City from an aerial view, it really would be a beacon of light in a massive amount of darkness. Although Metropolis is not far away, it is still within enough distance to where Gotham itself stands in a pool of utter blackness that envelops the land during the night.
Hmm. So did you say there's like a power cut? Or sorry, I missed.
No, there's no power cut. There's just it's just a you look out window, and it's at this point that if you look off in the distance, you can see smoke rising from where the old Arkham Asylum used to be on the outskirts of Gotham.
Hmm.
And there is a decent amount of smoke because you're not massively close, but you can see smoke rise from the old asylum that was abandoned.
Hmm. How close is Gotham to the new city of Arkham? Or at least, how close is Arkham to the new Gotham City?
Oh, maybe about a half-hour drive.
He's an inquisitive little shit sometimes. So he is going to just. He's going to tell his assistant that he's going to be back tomorrow and just, giving like the closing speech before he goes out. Um, he gets in his car and he begins the long and arduous drive to Arkham Asylum.
You drive through the snow. Surprisingly, it's one of the more quiet weeks you've seen driving through Gotham City. There's, of course, gangs here or there, but the more higher up district you get, the less gangs you see, and you wind up driving through a little bit of that. But it's a peaceful drive. There are cybernetic wonders and technologies that Gotham City is soaring far past the other cities. However,
Hmm.
would you make me a wits plus composure, please?
May I ask the source of what's causing the roll? Because
You notice something out of place.
define out of place, like as in just weird or angelic weird?
Angelic weird.
Oh no. Um. Okay. Um. I'm gonna go ahead. Uh, Sorry, I'm just pondering because he's paranoid as fuck about angels, as one most usually be. I'm gonna go ahead and spend a willpower, okay?
Okay.
Cool. One success.
You just barely notice out of the corner of your eye as you come up to a stoplight. There are a couple of thugs that have not really surrounded, but kind of enclosed this beautiful black-haired woman, and she is looking up at them and kind of showing, at least from what you can see, a semblance of some fear and somewhat, concern. And out of the corner of your eye, let's see, one success, yeah, out of the corner of your eye, you could have swore, positive. No, perhaps it was just a trick of the light, or maybe it wasn't.
What did you say I saw?
Sorry, you gotta. You looked. No, it couldn't be. Perhaps it was just a trick of the light. But you thought for a moment you saw wings.
On who? The girl or
Mm-hmm.
drive, 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 drive.
You continue to drive on past.
Just drive. Drive.
Hold on, I got. Hold on, I got to look up the area of effect on this.
Oh fuck.
What is your resolve?
2.
What is your power stat?
As in.
As in Clash of Wills stat.
Oh, primum. That would be 2.
So that's 4. Okay, so this would be a subtraction of 4. Go ahead and roll this. Okay. Not an impressive roll, but a roll nonetheless. So that's 4 hits. Ooh.
Drive.
Well, hold on. You're because you're at a stoplight. You weren't able to get away quite as quick, even if you ran it. All right. Okay. Due to the fact that this is not technically in combat, you are able to get out of the range of this. However, for the first time in a long time, as Frank is driving away very quickly and rapidly, you feel a strong desire to go back and help the woman. A very strong desire. Powerful. So much so that it almost makes you turn around. I'm going to need you to make 2 rolls.
Okay.
The first roll I need you to make is a resolve plus composure, and then the second roll I need you to make is a dexterity driving, if you have any.
Don't have any I don't have any drive. So what I am gonna do is I'm gonna do cause and effect.
Cool.
I am going to. Okay, right. So cause and effect. Do you know what that does, or do you want me to explain it quickly?
Go ahead and explain it, since I'm not very familiar with Demon.
So cause and effect is a embed that allows you to look at something and say it basically operates on the principle of the butterfly effect, right? You do
Mhm.
something different, and then it somehow leads to the result that you want, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to. Okay. What was the first roll that I needed to make?
Resolve plus composure.
Resolve plus composure. Okay, I'll make that first before I do the second one because it can only work on attribute ability. I think, as in
Mm-hmm.
one of both, not a bow. Not okay. If that makes any
Yep.
sense at all.
No, it makes sense.
I'm gonna spend a willpower again.
Okay. That's a hit. That's enough.
Okay, and I'm going to make use of. Okay, I'm going to make use of my computer's skill because okay, relying on how advanced are the cars of
I understand what you're saying. Yes, if your car is autopiloting, you could use your computer skill instead. Intelligence kills computers.
Gucci? So that's 5 dice. Three successes.
3 hits. Very good. You are able to kind of prevent the car. Like you're based upon those rolls, you're actually just barely able to kind of contain yourself. You feel like if you were driving, you would have forcefully turned around and gone to help her, but you set your autopilot to go and the car programmed, and then you kind of rested yourself maybe in the side seat or the back seat and was just take a breath, because that took everything you had. That was 2 willpower in a matter of 5 minutes.
Yeah.
So you're like, okay, come on, you're all right. And the worst part about it is you don't remember her face. You don't remember the hair color. You don't remember anything except the wings. You don't even know who she is. She could be anyone. The next time you go up to a woman, it could be her.
Yeah, this is not at all going to be freaking him out.
Car continues to drive along. Takes about another 10-15 minutes from where you were to get to Arkham Asylum. It's a different place out here. Small countryside that takes out just before the wilderness starts to kind of envelop everything in its grasping hands. But these farmlands are somewhat peaceful and old and rustic compared to the high up city of Gotham and even the lower slum old city of Gotham. It's a very different feeling out here. Another couple minutes go by and you eventually drive up the long stretch of Arkham Asylum. Most of the territory out here has been abandoned, as you can see by the pushed in gate, torn up over years upon years of unuse. Road is covered with leaves and grass. You can see as you drive up the hill, almost not surrounded but kind of semicircled by forest, the Arkham Asylum building, once standing as a proud symbol of of those of where Gotham could send their clinically insane, is now but a heap of rubble. In your knowledge as an attorney, you say this looks like a fire happened. You've done some arson cases before.
Well, yeah, criminal defense. He's bound to have done some fireboats in his time.
If you had to put your money on something, you would definitely say this is arson due to the fact of how quickly the building burned down.
Okay. Is there anyone around? Is there a caretaker building?
There was a small caretaker building, but unfortunately it has been lost due to the ravages of time. It was not lost due to burning, however, it just simply came down due to years of neglect. Which goes to show you an interesting fact about Arkham Asylum's construction. The building must have been built very well for it to have lasted that long, and only for a fire for it to have been brought down.
Do I see anything out here that
Roll me a
any?
wits composure. Roll me a wits composure.
Okay. Okay. Wits plus composure, did you say? No, sorry. Yeah, wits plus composure. One hit.
Very good. You look around. You don't seem to notice anyone. You do, however, kind of catch a glimpse of what look like some footprints going in and out on the little trail. Covered by the snow, but you managed to catch a few of them.
I'm gonna start following the footprints.
Well, the footprints just go towards the smoldering ruin.
Oh no, as in the track from where they
Oh,
came
uh,
from.
yeah, coming back from the track, it looks like it leads back to kind of like almost where you parked. And then you can see now, if you had to take a guess, they probably took some sort of vehicle.
Do I see any tire treads?
No. However, over to the side, you see kind of an area where the snow wasn't quite like clustered, which means there was definitely something parked there. You get what I mean? Like when a car is parked and then it moves away, you can see the area where like the rain or the snow didn't hit the ground.
Yeah. Okay. Sorry, could you repeat exactly what you said? Because I didn't. I didn't. I had to focus on something else. Like, could you repeat? Yeah.
You see an area where a vehicle may have been parked.
Okay. Um. I'm just going to look around, see if there's anything to specifically see, anything that I could potentially like. Well, I mean, for somebody to have burnt down a building, even when it wasn't inhabited, that's got to show some kind of grudge, you know?
Indeed, it does. Roll me intelligence
Could
plus
I use
academics.
yeah, I was about to say, can I use academics for the psychology purposes?
Yes. This is actually going to be identifying the fire itself.
Oh, okay. Cool. Yeah, so that is 7 dice. Cool. Actually, would my component indicators help here? It's essentially by like. Oh wait, no, sorry. By the component indicators, it involves touching something and then running complex scientific tests on it. So I was saying, like, maybe if I touch and look around the place, I could see if there was like any accelerants used, maybe.
Sure, go ahead and make me the roll.
Cool. It's the same. It's the same role. It's just like a different way of finding out the same information.
Mm-hmm.
One success.
Okay, one success. You're not entirely sure what was used per se. However, you are able to tell that the fire looks as if though it came from up underneath. In other words, it would have been like maybe a fire in the basement or the lower half of the asylum. And that's all you're able to tell at the moment.
Okay. Do I look? Do I see if there's like an entrance down into the basement still standing? Like,
Yeah,
as in
you
like
could do that.
like a supply hatch type deal.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and keep that one success you got earlier since it's still the same scene. You look around, and you kind of have to clear away a little bit of the rubble,
Hmm.
but you think you can find a basement hatch. It looks like a basement hatch anyway.
Okay. Am I barking up the wrong tree here, or is it like finding out what's in the basement helpful?
That is not your question to ask.
Fair point. Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna open up the basement hatch.
You open up the hatch. It's somewhat difficult because the hatch has actually been chained up.
I could always just smash it open.
You could.
Ah, better yet, I could burn it open. But that's
But you would.
also a bad idea. So yeah, no, I'll just go ahead and punch the lock. Um, Actually, also that's also a bad idea. Would I be able to burn the lock off, as in burn it to such a degree that the locks, like the chains, melt?
Yes. Hmm.
I don't actually need to roll for that. I just need to spend a point of ether.
Okay. You spend a point of ether and you reach out with your will. Takes just a little bit since you're doing it passively, but the lock slowly starts to melt and just burn away, and you are able to pour the doors open.
Okay. I hop down.
Up down into the basement. You go down. It's immediately dark. The only little light coming from outside was hardly anything since it was nighttime. Um, it's pretty dark down here. Can't even see the fourth stair railing.
Hmm. I am leaving Mantle of Fire on, so he's basically just lit up like a Christmas tree. Like he's practically got like a burning halo that is just
Hmm.
providing a lot of light, but he can
You
dim it should
proceed
he
on.
choose.
You proceed on down into the darkness of Arkham Asylum.
This is
As
a
you
bad
entered,
idea.
as you enter down, you can see the light being revealed and seeing hallways and the rest. You eventually come down and through what looks to be a ward. In other words, one of the psychiatric wards.
Hmm.
Most of it's
Okay.
kind of caved in and fallen in through the fire. However, you notice there is a chamber badly scorched, but still standing. It's a circular chamber. It doesn't look like any sort of psychiatric ward room you've ever seen.
Hmm.
It's somewhat more advanced. It looks more cyberpunkish. There are burnt tables and metal, things knocked over. There's a big glass um, chamber that is suspended above the room with like a cube, and one of the panels of glass is broken. Everything is scorched. You're surprised this place is even still standing with the building on up above coming on top of it, but it still stands. And this
Hmm.
place, this room that you are standing in, gives you a very, very odd feeling.
Is this infrastructure?
It is.
Okay, so I'm just going to start looking around for the linchpin.
You look around for the linchpin, and it's difficult because this place has been damaged, and it's also had a lot of interesting things happen to it. But you're able to find it.
Okay.
This particular bit of infrastructure is not connected to the city of Gotham.
Hmm.
It's, if anything, it's all but dead due to the amount of damage it has taken. However, it is still there.
Okay, theoretically, say I might have a little idea that I'll PM you about later, but could this piece of infrastructure be salvaged and repaired?
It's possible, yes.
Okay. I'm going to. Hmm. Sorry, I'm just contemplating.
Hmm.
What did you say the linchpin was specifically?
Oh, specifically, I'd say it's like a computer jack.
Hmm. Uh, I'm going to go ahead and see if I can hook into it.
Okay.
So he's just going to sort of sit down. He's going to like ensure that it's on, ensure that everything's working, or at least as much as it can. And then he is going to transfer himself into data and enter the computer safely. Of course,
Hmm.
he's not like leaving himself up to like be taken. He's just entering and looking around whilst being incredibly suspicious of his surroundings.
A good thing to be in this day and age.
Hmm.
You sit down, you take the time to extend your senses into the cybernetic realms, which in fact is a thing. It's very dark in this area, even with your light. The shadows themselves seem to envelop and envelop, and then the world starts to slowly change. If you've ever seen the movie The Matrix, when they enter the Matrix
Yeah.
and you see the numbers and the digitized equations start to appear, that's kind of how you see it. You start to see the world in coding and stream and energy. The surreal atmosphere changes from darkness to more of a misty, cybernetic, matrix like world. You've navigated this net before, the etherwebs. You are able to find the data bank for the computer, considering as how it is pretty much one of the only electronics still functioning in this place. What do you wish to do?
Okay, I didn't realize that it had muted me. Sorry, can you hear me?
Yes.
What was the last thing you heard me say?
What do you wish to do?
Okay, so as I said, I'm looking for the data banks to find out what the purpose of this piece of infrastructure is. And I said, fun little interesting factoid. You know the numbers in the matrix, the when they're
Mm-hmm.
entering into the matrix, that's actually a local Chinese takeaway uh, sheet printed in binary. That
Yep.
I've always found that an amusing little factoid.
Indeed. The digital world tends to have interesting little tidbits like that. So
Yeah.
you look for the data bank. What specifically are you looking for? Because there's a lot of data in a typical,
I'm
even just a small USB. There can be a lot of data. What are you looking for
I'm
specifically?
trying specifically to find out what this infrastructure was used for. What type of infrastructure is it? Is it command and control? Is it concealment? Is it defense, elimination,
Ah, it is concealment.
logistics?
It is concealment and defense.
So two
There.
different pieces of infrastructure.
Mm-hmm. And you start to look through the data files of this. You can see pictures fly past you, and normally a typical human may have this overwhelm them, but you have been used to this. The data streams by, and eventually you find some notes and a video feed.
Okay. I look at the notes first.
The notes basically say that this place, at least to scrunch down, I won't go into massive detail, I'll just kind of condense it into cliff notes. It was used for testing the effects of certain serums on different subjects and tinkering the results. It says something about the boss or the Riddler or something was paranoid. So he hired someone to help him make this infrastructure
Wait,
because he
what?
felt safe here.
Wait, infrastructure. This wasn't made by the God Machine.
Well, the notes you find say, like, remember, these are digitized notes that you're finding in a computer. If you
Yeah,
find this in the computer, it wouldn't say the God Machine made this. It would say, well, the boss hired this dude to come out and make it. But yes, this is a God Machine make.
right. Okay, no, it's just it was just slight confusing of tone.
Right.
My bad.
No, it's when you look at this, this was in fact a thing made by the God Machine. If not, everything that exists on the earth was made by the God Machine. But this infrastructure was apparently requested by one known as the Riddler, or sometimes called the Boss. Talks about how he was paranoid, how he thought there was something watching him, and about how he needed to get this little experiment done. So, about 4 months ago, he had this made. He hired some mechanics, some engineers, and electricians to come out and build this almost a miniature vault underground for him.
I'm gonna access the video feed.
The video feed is staticky and gray and hard because it's been damaged. The very data itself has actually been damaged. You take a look at the camera. You can see the video feed slowly start to come up. You can see a very blurry image of several people. One looks somewhat familiar. It looks like Tatiana, maybe? But it's difficult to tell. And you can see them fighting people here. From the angle at which the camera is, it's difficult to tell what's going on. It's just kind of like watching a really bad video feed. The data has been corrupted. Tell me, reflexively, can you detect other demon or angel magic reflexively?
Demon, yes, I think. Angel, no. I need a special thing for that.
Okay. The data you are watching is being deleted.
I'm saving it as quickly as I can.
Okay. You now have a small video file that lasts maybe about 5 seconds. It looks as if though it was edited on YouTube with really bad filter effects. The data around you is starting to be deleted.
I'm saying I'm going to try and set up firewalls and defenses to ensure that no more of this is deleted.
Do you want to roll for that?
Yeah, sure. Composure plus computer, intelligence plus computers.
Yes.
Cool. Yeah. I'm gonna go ahead and spend a willpower because kind of need to because this might be important. That is 3 successes.
3 successes. Now let me roll my. Whoa.
I mean, I'm not really surprised.
There is something else hacking the data as well. It completely shatters your firewalls and takes all of the data that you were going to save, at least any that you didn't implant into your mind. You feel a presence start to crush down over the overall infrastructure. You can feel the infrastructure coming active.
Okay, I am outie.
Who is? And that's all you hear before you jack out.
That is what is commonly referred to as I am outie. I am gone.
You run.
Do I need to roll cover for this if it was an angel?
Yes.
I mean, I have 9 cover, so like.
Roll it anyway, just for the hell of it.
Do
You
I
never
add any
know.
modifiers to this? Actually, wait. Now let me look at. Is if I just quickly find the modifier table for.
You know what? I'll give you modifiers for this actually because this is technically your first one and you've been pretty covered. So I'm going to say you actually get a bonus dice on this, so
Okay.
10 dice total because this is your you've been careful.
Mhm. I'm just trying to find cover. Sorry, I'm just. Okay, where is this? I don't know where the modifiers, but yeah. So there's 10 dice. I'm good.
Indeed, you are. The nature of the demon is to be covered and concealed. If you suspect that there was an angel or another demon or another agent of the God Machine, it will not find you here. But nonetheless, it is better to be out of that place.
Yeah.
As you stumble outside into the night with the full moon overhead and the snow falling down, now creating maybe about a good inch of snow, you stumble, you land near the ground, and you notice something on the ground. A small symbol.
Oh shit. Okay, wait. I did that wrong. But go ahead.
Either way, you notice a small symbol.
Yeah. Do I recognize the symbol?
You think you've seen this symbol before.
Well, I will
Maybe
mention
it was.
that I will mention that demons have a perfect eidetic memory.
That's right, you do. You saw a symbol like this at Tatiana's. The item in question on the ground is like a brooch.
I'm gonna pick it up. Wait, is it the brooch that was mentioned? She mentioned that she had a brooch. Is this the brooch that was owned by Tatiana?
Yes.
Well, I'm going to have a little word with her. Okay. I mean, if there's anything else for him. Oh, actually, I'm gonna go ahead and DM you one little thing quickly.
Good idea. Take a beat for that. Because you're going to be able to succeed on that. If you wish to use one of the favors you just earned from that case you did, since it was such a good roll, the city will help fund you in that endeavor. It
Do you
shouldn't
think
actually take.
I mean, it would have to be from me saying, "Oh, I think it's a good idea to reopen Arkham Asylum and hire out some new help, perhaps a new psychologist that I just happen to have the number of."
Indeed. And you're able to do that, especially on the heels of that victory. You're
Mhm.
able to use some of the money that you earned in that case to easily do this. It wouldn't take much. Arkham Asylum was an old building, and the area itself is not being currently sold out as a high price of land. To buy the land would actually be somewhat cheap out here. No one likes to really come out here due to rumors.
Define rumors.
A lot of the farmland has pushed inward toward the city because people have been talking about sightings of wolves.
Okay, that's fine.
But
That's
after all,
fine.
the timber wolves are a thing on the East Coast now, especially in the year 2025. When a lot of the inner cities merged out into the coastal cities, the population of timber wolves and other creatures that had thought to have been originally pushed back due to hunting and population growth have now started to come back. In this particular area of Gotham City, out here in these wildernesses, due to the fact that most people travel by flight now, a lot of the highways have been somewhat, you could say, abandoned in certain areas.
Hmm.
This has allowed nature to start to overtake certain areas, and species like the timber wolf have started to come back. So for people to see, you know, timber wolves out here, it's not unheard of,
Uncommon.
indeed. But there are people who don't wish to live out here. Actually, there's a case you remember, and because you have perfect memory, you don't have to roll for this. There was once a case you took where you thought a man had been mutilated by another man. It was actually out here in this very countryside.
Mm.
However, it turned out that the man hadn't been mutilated by another man. He'd been mutilated by a wolf. When you came out and looked at the files for the case and succeeded, but nonetheless you wanted to take another look at the files, you found that the wolf tracks were extremely large,
Mm.
very large for an ordinary timber wolf.
Okay, time to skedaddle.
But do you wish to continue to propose that to the city?
Yeah, I think I will, because
Yes. Okay. Excellent. And that would
I'm
definitely be towards one of your goals. So good job.
especially considering I need to make a new cover. So, because
Hmm.
like I mean, if something ever happened to Frank, then I'd be fucked.
Right. So briefly, before our sessions eventually start to come to a close, let's go to another character.
With regards to the second character, my second character, that one is actually probably best if there are other people around, if you think so.
Okay.
But I will just
Either
quickly
way,
request a 2-minute bio break.
2 minute
A
what?
bio break.
Sure. Do you wish me to end the session right now? This one?
If you end this session now and then we start another one when I come back. I mean, I'll only be like
Uh,
2 minutes.
we can. However, I do have stuff to do with other people today as well. So if you
No,
don't like
exactly.
having
That's what I was saying. Like, I mean, I don't mind being
right,
this. This is for the second character. I don't actually mind being in the presence of other people because
okay. Then for now, for the story of Frank, we will call this session of Gotham to a close. As Frank exits and leaves and gets in his car and goes to go back to the technological marvel of Gotham City,
Mhm.
leaving the ashes of Arkham Asylum behind.
And with a really shiny new brooch.
Indeed, a brooch which has almost an eye-like symbol with a skull with veins coming out of it.
Hmm.
Interesting that you've seen this before.
Can I go ahead
That
and
will
make
make
an
for
occult roll on that
okay.
symbol itself before?
Go ahead and make one more roll before Frank's story ends today.
Yeah, intelligence plus occult, right?
Mm-hmm.
Cool. So that's 7 dice. I will spend a willpower. I might as well spend the last one I got. Well, it's not actually not the last one I've got. I want one more. But, okay. Two successes.
Indeed. And you actually didn't need to roll that. However, two successes will be easily enough. There are two places you have seen this. You have perfect memory. You have seen this in Tatiana's club, and you have seen this on your good friend, the one you went into the clock tower to meet, the one who sometimes calls himself Prince of Gotham, as a title he sensed to have with you. You never really understood why he had that title, why he likes to call himself the Prince of Gotham. Nonetheless, you remember seeing this symbol on his ring.
I mean, out of character, it's very obvious he's a vampire, and Frank actually knows this. It's just Frank doesn't know this, in the sense of Mr. Shadow knows this, but Frank doesn't know
Right.
this.
The persona does not know, but the inner demon does. Normally, most humans wouldn't know something like this.
Mm-hmm.
But Mr. Shadow isn't human, is he?
No.
So, with that, we end the session tonight. Thank you, players, for playing. Thank you, watchers, for watching. This has been another session in Gotham by Night. I will